Okay, hi. All right, a few years ago, I spoke to a NASA manager and actually made a joke. I told him, look, before you keep looking for extraterrestrial intelligence, wouldn't it make more sense to look for terrestrial intelligence first? And actually, I didn't joke, I was serious. And today, I want to show you why it makes sense to look down here on Earth before you want to go to space, and not the other way around. What would JFK say today if he were to repeat his 70-year-old famous speech when he announced the Apollo program? We choose to go to the Mars and do the other things, not because they're easy, but because they're hard. So you would only replace Moon by Mars. And now today, it doesn't matter who is president. It matters whether we have the ambition to go to Mars. Because if we do, I opt not to use 40-year-old technology for that. And that is the core of this pitch. My name is Matthias Krieger, and I'm a coordinator of a global technology joint venture that was incorporated just for that purpose. This is not working. Sorry. Battery is not working. This one? Too far away, huh? It doesn't. Oh, no. Okay. This is, the subject is photovoltaic power generation for space missions. On the left, you see a very old picture of a crystalline silicon solar module for a satellite. And one of the frequent problems you had in the past was impact damage from debris, from small particles. If they impact at very high speed, they can catastrophically damage the entire solar cell and short-circuit it and make it out of work. That's one of the reasons why the solar modules were always designed to be as small as possible, because of course the smaller you are, the smaller the impact damage. And that means the figure of merit that he used was watts per square meter. In other words, very high efficiency. And that is one figure of merit, but not the only one. If you want to choose watt per kilogram as a specific design figure of merit, you open up the design space dramatically. However, there's a price you pay. And the price you pay is the area of the cell can increase if the efficiency is lower. But that means you need more space for the same wattage. And if there's one thing not missing up there, it's space, because it's called space by definition. Okay, so what do I propose? My partner in the US is Nexolf, is one of the most established NASA suppliers of space-rated polyamides, a very thin polyimide, which is rated by NASA as being space-proven for 20 years in LEO and GEO orbit. And it can be manufactured down to a thickness of 6 to 7 micrometers. What you see in this picture is a solar cell. Sorry about the noise. I'll wait for it. Sorry for the noise in the background. What you see on top is actually a space-proven solar sail by my partner Nexolf. This is an array which is a 7-micron thick polyamide covered by aluminum to be reflective by the sun. What I propose is to use standard silicon technology from CSM PV Center and coat it directly on the transparent polyamide. And at the same size and the same weight, you can create a power module with the figures of merit down here. 1,370 watts per kilogram, storing volume 250 watts per cube meter. Compare this with a recent benchmark figure from ESA, Invitation to Tender Statement of Work, published in February 2020. They expect 200 watts per kilogram and 60 kilowatt per meter cube. Absolutely easy if you choose this technology. There's a totally different technology, but it works. Sorry, oops. To make sure I'm not just bragging about something that I made up, I actually found this paper by NASA. It's a recent publication about a planned Mars mission. And I used commercially available modules from the paper to compare with my proposed technology. And you see how much you can actually save with the same cost of the launch volume. You can save up to 4 metric tons for one single Mars mission. And if you know the price of the first propulsion stage, which is commonly assumed about $20,000 per kilogram, you can save $70 million in one launch. In other words, if you really want to save, there's no other way to do it. My joint venture is actually a legal cooperation between established companies. And Nexolf US is a NASA supplier of polyamides. This material is subject to ITAR agreement. In other words, extremely difficult to get access to. I negotiated with them even an access to their R&D labs, and they agreed. So I'm the only one who can actually offer the cooperation with our technology and this material in one. This is our PV center, and on the bottom you see actually a silicon cell directly coated in polyimide, qualified at TRL3 for space applications. IV curve is all specified and published. All we need to do is serially interconnect it to power modules with an established process from Oerlikon, and the equipment is still available in the market, but it's going to fade in the next couple of years. But this is what I propose if you want to go long-range mission. Thank you for your attention.
Questions. This was slightly more than 5 minutes, but you know, we shouldn't be too picky on this. Any questions? I actually have one in terms of output. Like first, what's the competition output in general? Second, which do you kind of, is it the multi-spectrum approach, or like what's the maybe I didn't get it, but what's the efficiency grade?
All right. We propose to use amorphous silicon thin film photovoltaic technology with an AM0 efficiency of around 11%. So that's quite a bit lower than gallium arsenide, but it's the cell itself is 300 nanometers thick. So if we coat this on this polyimide, the total thickness of the entire cell is 7 micrometers, and the weight per kilogram is just an order of magnitude better. But the area, of course, is about 2 or 3 times larger. That's correct. If you compare with gallium arsenide, I think it's about 24 or 25%. So it's about twice.